Hey everybody, Andy Kvernen here with another Cornerstone Connection Daily Devotional. I wonder this morning, how do you respond when your faith comes under fire? How do you respond when things get really tough? There's a lot of different ways we can respond. Some of us might respond by sort of denying what's going on, pretending like it doesn't exist, just sort of dissociating with the trial. Some of us might respond with anger, with fear, with lots of different emotions, lots of different responses, sometimes with stoicism. Sometimes we're just going to work hard and try to press through. I'm reminded of a story in the book of Daniel. It's actually one of my favorite stories in the entire Old Testament, where three men are faced with a fiery trial that's really, really difficult. Here, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego are in the nation of Babylon, and Babylon is a pagan nation. And the king Nebuchadnezzar decides that he's going to make everybody bow down to a graven image of himself. How narcissistic can you be, right? But Nebuchadnezzar makes this decree, makes this command. Everybody at a certain time must bow down to this image in order to demonstrate their allegiance to him and to the Babylonian Empire. Well, of course, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego are Israelites. These are their given names in Babylon, but they actually have different names. They have Israelite, Hebrew names. And these are men who are living in exile and yet are maintaining their faith in the one true God, the God of Israel, Yahweh. And so when they're faced with this proposition, this command that says, hey, you must bow down to this graven image, it violates their conscience in the worst form. It violates their sense of right and propriety, and they're unwilling to do it. And of course, the word gets back to Nebuchadnezzar. He becomes furious. He hauls them in, and he threatens them, and he says, look, if you don't do this, you're going to be in big trouble. I'm going to throw you into the fiery furnace. I want you to listen to Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego's response. I think this is incredibly profound. Starting in verse 16. It says, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered and said to the king, O Nebuchadnezzar, we have no need to answer you in this matter. Okay? What are they saying here? Look, you're actually not the one in charge. You think you're in charge, but you're not. We answer to a higher authority. So they say, O Nebuchadnezzar, we have no need to answer you in this matter. If this be so, if you follow through on your threat, if you throw us into the fiery furnace, here's what we know. They say, our God, whom we serve, will deliver us from the burning fiery furnace. Is that what he says? No, if you've been reading your Bible reading, you know that's not what they say. They actually say this. They say, if this be so, our God whom we serve is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace. Our God is able. What are they saying here? They're saying we know that our God can do whatever he wants. Our God is capable of delivering us from the fiery furnace. And so we're not going to bow down to you because we know what our God is capable of. Now listen to what else they say. If this be so, our God whom we serve is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace, and he will deliver us out of your hand, O king. They're saying, look, we know that our God who is able is also going to do what he deems best, and we believe that he's going to follow through. He's going to deliver us from your hand. But I love what they say here. And this is what distinguishes Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego from a lot of what we call prosperity gospel thinking. Those who say that if I name something in faith, if my faith is great enough, I'll get whatever I want. No. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego don't presume to dictate to God what God must do. But here's what they say. They say, but if not, see, God might not save them. God might not deliver them from the fiery furnace. But here's what they say, but if not, be it known to you, O king, that we will not serve your gods or worship the golden image that you have set up. What are they saying here? They're saying, look, our God is perfectly capable of saving us from you, Nebuchadnezzar. You think you're in power? You think you have authority? Guess what? Our God is greater. But our God is also greater than us, and he knows more than us. And he may deem it necessary that we suffer in this instance for our stand, for our faith. And so if that's the case, we're willing to live with that. How does someone get to that place? Well, friends, here's the thing. A lot of times when we're suffering, when we're facing trial, we're asking God, why is this happening? Why did you choose this in my life? Why do I have to be the one? Why not somebody else? Why don't you just make it right? Friends, oftentimes we don't know the exact answer to those questions, but here's what we know. We know who our God is. We know that God's ways are higher than us, and that God is love, and that we can trust him, that even if he allows suffering in our lives, he's doing it for our good and for his glory. And so we can say to people like Nebuchadnezzar, who threatened to throw us in the fire, look, dude, no matter what happens, I'm with God. And God can save me. I believe that he will. But even if he doesn't, I'm not going with you, because I answer to one who is higher, to one who is greater, to one whose love is more vast than anyone could possibly imagine or even think. I answer to him. I'm aligned with him. I'm following him. And come what may, I'm going to be with him until the end. Friend, how is your faith under fire today? Are you willing to trust God in the midst of? What's beautiful here is that God does deliver Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. I'm convinced that God delights in delivering his people. Sometimes he allows them to suffer. Are we willing to trust God no matter what? We can, and I hope you will today and always. God bless you, friends. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you again on the Cornerstone Connection Daily Devotional.